Hello, all of you bold, beautiful, brilliant, and highly evolved souls. I'm Davina, and today I'm going to talk about forced self-abandonment. And I wanted to say the word forced self-abandonment because that's exactly what it was. Narcissistic families operate a lot like a cult, really. And in a cult, of course, the price of admission is submission and loss of your true identity. You just become this, hollow shell of a person who obeys the leader and in hopes of that sense of belonging. And this is exactly what happens in a narcissistic family. Self-abandonment and compliance are required if you're going to be in a relationship with any narcissist. And I believe Pete Walker says it as well, that in his words, I think self-annihilation is the cost of admission into a narcissistic relationship. And it's important to know that you had no choice. These were your only parents. You were completely dependent on these people. And you did not have a choice at all. You had to give up your true feelings, your needs, your values, everything that makes you, the essence of you. You had to give that up in order to fit in to your family and in order to not be abused further, not be in complete exile and not receive any care or, almost, probably very, very little. So you had no choice. There were hundreds of times probably in your early years, your late infancy, early toddlerhood, where your parents shamed you and invalidated your feelings. And gradually you learned that it wasn't okay to express feelings, that feelings were wrong. This is one of the rules of narcissistic families. Feelings are wrong. They're not okay here. And so you had no choice but to stuff those feelings, to repress those feelings, to hide those feelings. Your parents would have said things maybe like, if you're crying, they're saying you're being a suck. Or maybe you're crying and they show a little bit of comfort, but if you cry for more than 30 seconds, they're saying you're being silly, calm down, shut up, they tolerate very little emotion, if any. Your narcissistic parents also showed their disapproval of you on a daily basis with their criticisms, their mocking, their shaming, their snide comments, all of it constantly showing you that you're wrong, showing you that, telling you that you're not okay as you are. For example, you might be doing a puzzle and they say, no, you don't do it like that. This is how you do it. You should do it like this. Or you're playing with a toy that you really like and they say, I don't know why you like that stupid toy. Or you might come home and you've just made a cute little frog at school and your parent says, that doesn't look anything like a frog. And so there's these constant things, your feelings aren't okay. It's not okay the way you do things. Your creativity is not okay. Nothing's okay. Everything is wrong about you. And you get the message, and that's why you probably feel that there is something wrong with you, because this is how they talk to you on a daily basis. And so you learn, you're conditioned to hide these parts of yourself gradually in those early years of your life. You're hiding parts and parts. You realize anything that displeases your parents suddenly becomes hidden. It becomes stuffed down, set away, so that you can feel some sort of acceptance in this family, because otherwise you're like nothing. I think Jay Reed says, like, you're nothing to nobody. At least if you you try to fit in, at least you get some amount, like maybe the basic care, but at least maybe you can like once in a while get a hug or something, like, so you're just really trying to survive. And yeah, so you take on this false self, you take on the false self, and this identity is based in shame. And therefore you live in constant terror. And I think it is really terror that you're going to slip, or you're going to make the wrong move, or something's going to show, and your true self might show a little bit, and then you risk rejection. And to a child, rejection equals pretty much death, right? So it's really a terror. And I always want to get that across, that this is a terror of abandonment. And yeah, you learn in those early years, possibly, I believe I was brainwashed probably by age 4 or 5, that it was not safe to be me. And you maybe learned the exact same thing. I'm pretty sure if you're listening to this channel that you learned the same thing, that it was not safe to be you. And that is a horrible way to live. And a terrifying way to live, and to feel ashamed of your very being, the being that you are, that God created you to be, is just a horrible thing that happened to you. And it takes time to recover this true self. It takes a lot of time, day after day, of figuring out who you really are, what your feelings really are, what are my needs, what do I value, what's important to me, what are my preferences. This process of recovery takes time. So have a lot of patience, have a lot of gentleness, and I'm just wishing you so many blessings on this journey of healing and awakening. And I am Davina at Boldness Blooming.